Hey everybody, today's lesson is an absolute can't miss. This is one of the funnest things that I love doing. I love doing it in the community and I love doing it in sales, and it absolutely works in both areas. Now, one of the things that we struggle with as salespeople, especially when we're newer, is confidence. It's confidence that we really have the best product, that we really are the best person to advocate for that product. And really, if we boil down to it, a lot of times we don't necessarily have the confidence that we even know what the heck we're doing. This is especially difficult when we're talking to somebody and we don't necessarily know much about them. And there's this entire world on the other side of their life that's really going to dictate how they react to things, how they communicate, how they make decisions. But what do we do when we don't know it? Well, the good news is today we're actually going to talk about how to get past that really quickly. Now, it is going to take a little bit of work on the back end, just initially, just to get a sense on how we're going to apply this lesson to our sales. And today we're going to talk about a concept in the community that we call a cold read or cold reading. Now this one I absolutely stumbled into. I mean, it was a total accident. And to this day, the story I'm going to tell you, I can't believe it happened. If it wasn't me telling you, I wouldn't even believe that it happened to me. But I was there and it happened. We were out on this one rooftop deck here in San Diego, and there was a bunch of my friends in the community, and I saw one of my friends, Ray James. Now that's not his real name. Again, everybody in the community here has a call sign. It's an avatar. And so I saw him talking to this one girl on a bench. Her friend was sitting right next to him. And I just immediately thought, all right, I know he can handle it. The guy knows what he's doing. But I saw her friend getting a little antsy, and I knew if she got antsy enough, she'd start tugging on her friend and saying, hey, let's go, and totally sabotage this incredible conversation that my friend Ray James is having with her. I walked up and just sat down right on the bench next to her, just initiated a conversation. And mainly it was just to make sure that he and the girl he was talking to kind of had a solo conversation going. And so I introduced myself. Initially, it got to a point where she just said, what do you do? And this is a long story short. You never talk about what you do for a job when you're talking to a girl. It's a total buzzkill. A lot of girls ask it, but you just can't fall for it. I don't even know that they know it's going to be a buzzkill, but it's always a buzzkill. I'm working for this company, and I told her an element of the job that I have, but I didn't tell her a job title. And she said, what do you do? And I said, well, I read people for a living, which I really did. I worked in this call center, and everything that I did when I was talking to somebody was a total read. I'm reading their vocal tone. I can hear what's going on in the background. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that if you pay attention, you could read it. I'm not going to tell her I work in a call center. That just, it's a buzzkill, right? It's a buzzkill for you telling me that. But I told her I read people for a living, and she's like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, people hire me to read people so that their company can make good decisions, which was totally true. And she goes, no. I go, yeah, seriously, pick somebody out here and I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a few things about them. And at this point, I'm flying blind because I'd never done this before, right? I'd literally never done this before, and it could have ended up really badly for me. Now, the good news is it didn't. It was the total opposite. So she pointed to this couple that was right in front of us. And I'm like, oh, that's easy. They're Italian, they're from Liguria, they've been dating about a year, they're here in San Diego because they wanted to go someplace on vacation. They've never been before, but they want it to be nice weather. And so I told her that, and like anybody else, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I didn't blame her for that. I mean, I would have said that too. Well, it turns out the guy of this couple ends up sitting right next to me. And I turned over to him, and I speak Italian. I turned over to him, and I asked him in Italian, where are you guys from? Liguria. How long have you guys been dating? A year. What are you guys here for? Vacation. Why San Diego? It's a long way from Italy. Well, we just wanted to go someplace warm, and we've never been here before. I mean, it was dead. Every single point was right on. I can't believe it. I literally had no clue that was going to happen. And so we're having this conversation in Italian. Tell this guy, I'm like, hey, tell her what you just told me. And so this guy turns to the girl that I'm talking to and says, this guy's amazing. He knew her from Italy. My girlfriend and I have been dating a year, and we came here because we wanted to go someplace new where the weather's nice. And her jaw dropped. And she's like, no way. Do it again. And I'm like, no, I'm not a little monkey with their organ grinder working for quarters. I'm just not going to do that. And I walked away. And so what happened is she followed me, and she gave me her number. And I still to this day can't believe that happened. It was just the most amazing thing in the world. But what it taught me was, number one, you don't have to be that lucky, because it was probably lucky to some degree. But when you can sit here and do what we call a cold read, at whatever level of detail you want to do, it makes a huge difference. And so let's transition this into sales because it's a total direct tie into sales. So here I am in the job where I started it. I'm in a contact center, and yes, I get paid to read people for a living because I have to be successful at this job. In the first couple of days, I wasn't really trying to make a sale or advance the sales process. I just wanted to figure out who my target market was. I mean, I'm an advertising major. That's what I wanted to figure out. And so I'm just calling people, just chit-chatting, getting to know them. And it turns out that everybody in there kind of fell into one big demographic group. They're all around the same age. They both had the same family structure. They both had the same worries. Everything that really formed how they made decisions was exactly the same. One of the things I realized is I'm really playing with house money here, in a sense, because I know that everybody that I'm going to talk to, this is their background, but they don't know that I know that. And so one of the things that I would do when I would talk to somebody in the middle of the conversation, at some point, whenever I felt it was the right time to do that, I'm like, I work with people like you all the time. And I would go into great detail. Most of the people I work with are this age, they're married, they have 2 kids. Most of the people I work with are this age, they're married, they have 2 kids, they're staying at home with their kids, they're a high school graduate, they always want to go to college, they know their kids are going to grow up and not see them with a college diploma. And they know that's unacceptable if they don't know how to do it. And the last thing they want to do is have to drive all the way to the nearest school, fight for parking. And the last thing they want to do is leave their kids, pick up fast food, get in the parking lot, fight for parking, walk halfway across campus, only to sit around a whole bunch of people who are 18, 19 years old, and they feel like a total outcast. And they wonder why they're sitting here doing this, being away from their kids. And every single time I said that, I mean, literally every single time, I heard on the other end of the phone, yeah. And I knew it was done. And the thing about a cold read that's really important, just the same in the community as it is in sales, and it's an absolutely insane trust and value builder. I mean, they will not give you an objection. You literally told them everything that you know about them, and you never even asked, but you nailed it on every point. But in order to do that, you just need to spend some time. Step away from trying to make a sale and just get to know them. And what you're going to find out is that, gosh, 80, 90, maybe even more percent of people are going to fall into this one group. What age they are, what demographic, how they think, what their life's like, the decisions they make, all the things that they face every single day. And when you do that, they're not going to have an objection because they're going to be so wowed and their jaw is going to be on the floor. It's hard to give an objection when your jaw's on the floor. That at that point, you can just literally take the reins and tell them what to do because they're going to be so impressed by you knowing that much about them, like you're a magician or something, that they're just going to let you run with it. And it's one of those things, if you want to sign them up, great. And if you decide they're not really somebody that you want to sign up, then so be it as well. And realistically, if you do that, they're probably going to even chase you harder. Apply the lesson of the cold read, and I'm telling you, it's going to absolutely destroy and eliminate, absolutely prevent any objections that you would otherwise get.